Okay, guys, welcome to another video. You may be wondering why I deleted the other videos of the Who Would Win series, because they were pretty bad. Let's be honest. It was unfair battle, and pretty much I sounded very hyper and like I was on cocaine. Please don't demonetize me for saying that. And I decided to delete those videos and keep the present ones because I don't sound like I'm crazy. Because I've improved narrating skills and I want to start from scratch. So, today is one of those videos, but it's a remastered. Today is Godzilla 2014 versus Space Godzilla. So, Godzilla 2014 versus Space Godzilla. Whew, okay. Alright, let's begin the battle. It's a night at a mountain. Quite dark, in fact. Deers are sleeping and the animals are not awake. An ancient god of King Caesar had gone back into a mountain after thousands of years. A man wakes up after having his chest compressed by a boulder. He wakes up in pain and agony. Doesn't remember what happened when he was rambling to himself and woke up a giant creature. He decides to hop into his boat that's still there, thankfully, and swims away. About a few days later, he came back at the hospital and survived and recovered, but his son with cancer also had his cancer cured, or at least his cancer they killed his cancer, not cured it. They said that that's the best they could do. Meanwhile, the next night after that, at that same mountain, a portal appeared in the sky. This portal contained the clone of Godzilla, the space of Godzilla. Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla came out of the portal in his flying state and roared out in the sky as the portal closed behind him. He then lands on the ground in his land form. He roars and shoots his corona beam at the ground to show dominance. This wakes all the animals up, and they go screaming and roaring. Then, he hears a roar. It sounds like Godzilla 2014. Space Godzilla roars, but no reply. Then, he sees a tail. This tail was definitely Godzilla. The tail splashed down back into the water. And then dorsal plates appeared. And then what resembled a head appeared. And then, before Space Godzilla knew it, Godzilla 2014 was rising out of the ocean. As water splashed out his neck and back, Godzilla looked at Space Godzilla in confusion. After all, he had just dealt with two creatures named Mutos, so he was not having it. Or at least one Muto he had to deal with. Godzilla roared at Space Godzilla, and then Space Godzilla doesn't roar back, but Space Godzilla raises both hands in the air, looking like he's about to summon something. And then a bunch of crystals come out of the ground. some energy pulse comes out of the crystals and goes into Space Godzilla's shoulder crystals, and then he roars like they were giving him power. Godzilla 2014 comes charging at Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla uses his Corona beam to flee him back. Godzilla is severely injured on his arm, but he was not going to stop. There was some blood coming out of his arm. Then he gets tripped by Space Godzilla's tail when he turns around and uses his tail as a tripwire hook. Godzilla falls to the ground. Godzilla uses his atomic breath and hits Space Godzilla in the face. Space Godzilla flinches back a moment to absorb the pain. And that got Godzilla a lot of time to then grab Space Godzilla and chuck him into one of the crystals. Space Godzilla roared, but Godzilla stepped on Space Godzilla's chest and atomic breathed him in the face. This didn't kill Space Godzilla, but Space Godzilla uses his Corona beam on Godzilla 2014, which makes him step off Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla then uses a move he hasn't done before yet, and that was fly. Well, he has flown, but Godzilla, this is the first time seeing a kaiju float in the air without any source of wings or anything else. He's just floating. Godzilla notices whenever he's flying, the crystals are glowing, and Godzilla has the urge to destroy the crystals, because he thinks that if he destroys the crystals, Space Godzilla will lose more of his powers. As Godzilla's thinking this, Space Godzilla flies towards him and knocks Godzilla 2014 to the ground. He looks up and uses an atomic breath to take him out from the air. Then Godzilla roars at Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla uses his crystals to summon some red lightning looking stuff that shocks Godzilla. Some red lightning was coming out of his crystal shoulders that was electrocuting Godzilla. Godzilla manages to deflect one of these electric pulses with a boulder he found on the ground, which obviously instantly breaks the boulder and hits Godzilla. Anyway, Godzilla does not know what to do. All he can do is punch and scratch and atomic breath it. Everything else he tried, it would only end up him getting some crazy move to get back at Godzilla. Space Godzilla then gets on his feet from floating and roars at Godzilla. Godzilla looks at one of the crystals and takes it ripping it out of the ground and throws it at Godzilla and one of Space Godzilla's shoulder crystals, breaking it. Space Godzilla can no longer fly. Now Godzilla grabs Space Godzilla and rams him into a side of a mountain. Space Godzilla is roaring at Godzilla, and Godzilla roars intensely back. Space Godzilla then uses his Corona beam on Godzilla, which ultimately makes him flee again. Godzilla cannot understand which crystal would be causing his Corona beam. But sure, Godzilla did hope there was one for his Corona beam. But he did notice every time he would use his Corona beam, 3 crystals would glow. So Godzilla would constantly use his atomic breath to get Space Godzilla to use his Corona beam, see what crystals he needed to destroy, and which successfully worked. He manages to knock down Space Godzilla a few times to take one of the crystals and break it. He'd keep doing this until he broke all 3 crystals. Now only Space Godzilla could use his melee attacks. Godzilla finished the other shoulder crystal Space Godzilla had by taking a very big boulder and smashing it on his shoulder crystal really hard, and also an atomic breath to it too. Space Godzilla is left powerless and can barely even punch Godzilla. Godzilla then takes Space Godzilla by the tail and bites his tail off. Now Space Godzilla is defenseless because his arms are the worst and his mouth will not do the trick. Then Godzilla takes his atomic breath and shoots at Space Godzilla. And eventually, Space Godzilla takes so much pressure that he explodes. After Godzilla opens his eyes, he's glitter falling from the sky, or some yellow crystal pieces. They fall to the floor like ice flakes. And Godzilla 2014 had won the battle. He roars victoriously and heads back to the sea, waiting for a kaiju to come and dare challenge him. Okay, guys, that was 13 minutes long. Hope you enjoyed. I sure did. This is a remastered version of the old one I did.